The new Cyberpunk TCG is about to reach $14 million over on Kickstarter. And it begs the question, is this a game you should keep your eyes out for? Is this the hot new TCG? Well, I for one am super floored to play this game for a number of reasons, and I want to share those with you today. Here are 5 reasons you should check out the Cyberpunk TCG. As I do with all new card games I try out, we're going to start at the exact same place. And honestly, it's probably the same place that you start at when you look at a new trading card game. It's the aesthetics. Look, you can't help but look at the card art, look at the presentation, look at the borders when you're presented with a new trading card game. And what I love about Cyberpunk here is that they understand their aesthetic. They understand what they are going for. Just like any trading card game, if you commit to the theming and the aesthetic of your game, you are all the better for it. I love these cards. The way that these look make me want to hold them. It makes me want to look at them, to play the card down. Whenever you hit that perfect balance of like borders plus card art that makes you feel the feeling, that's where you know you have something special. And these are cards I actively want to hold and play. I've had that experience in a handful of other games, and this is no different. Like that right there. I picked all of these cards. I could have just kept picking cards off of the website. I just grabbed some of my favorites that stood out to me right away. All of these are so good. And so I'm going to start with number 1, the aesthetic. If you like the cyberpunk style, if you will, they has it to the nines. It's so good. They know what they're about and they're committing to it wholeheartedly. And of course, you can't stop at the glitz and glamour of the aesthetics. You have to actually look at how the game plays and see if that interests you. And for me, I am finding a lot to like within this trading card game. There's a lot of familiarity, but there's a lot of interesting little tweaks as well as innovation, including what you're seeing right now on the screen, the leader system. You have so many familiar mechanics, like the simple guys on the board, the dudes on the board mechanic that so many other games have started with and then iterated on. But then you take things and you move them in a little bit of a different direction using things like dice. Now, I'm a massive lover of dice being incorporated in different ways in trading card games. And I will say this, I started this YouTube channel on a literal dice and card game. That was the whole thing back 10 years ago. So I've played a cornucopia of dice games, but I've never seen a game that's taken dice and used them in this way. You have dice games that oftentimes present you with massive like up and down swings, these huge crazy changes in the games based on the dice roll. And then there are some other games that try to mitigate dice roll and add them only as bonuses. Here in Cyberpunk, you're playing to win the dice, and the dice do come into effect with regards to how certain cards will function, but they don't make or break the functionality of your cards. And so it's somewhere in the middle of what I was describing earlier, which is so exciting because you have the capacity to play the game multiple different times and have it always play out differently based on a dice roll, but not just break wide open with a dice roll being poor for you or being very good for your opponent. And so I'm really intrigued to see how this actually ends up playing out on the table over and over again with the same deck, but choosing different dice to roll per turn, or seeing what those dice come up with, seeing how card effects end up being affected by dice, both in this set and also in sets going forward. I am really intrigued to see how the mechanics end up playing out, and I'm very interested and excited to try it out myself. All right, so we have ourselves a beautiful, cohesive aesthetic that hooks us. We have some really cool mechanics and gameplay that looks really fun and perhaps very deep. What else about this game is exciting? Well, I'll be honest, I love the approach that the Cyberpunk TCG creators, both CD Projekt Red and WeirdCo, have taken. I think WeirdCo rightfully said it in one of their very first streams. The reason they're launching on Kickstarter is because they understand the landscape of TCGs right now. And honestly, their explanation was beautiful. By the way, I was watching on the very first live stream about this game. I went back and watched their other one. I've been hyped for this from the beginning. So when they were like, hey, would you like to make a video? Can we sponsor you making a video? I was like, I was going to make this already. The fact that they understand the TCG landscape over the past few years and how it's functioned for brand new games is incredibly encouraging. It means they're paying attention. It means it doesn't feel like they're just trying to, put out the next big thing. It doesn't strike me that they're doing that in any way, shape, or form. And that's why I'm excited. They launch on Kickstarter because they wanted to supply the amount of boxes to the audience that want to engage with it. You look at some previous releases like Lorcana, for example, or Riftbound more recently, and even One Piece to a degree right now with their new releases, you just can't get product because they are underprinting it. They are not meeting the demand out there, and the demand is huge for all of these new TCGs. These two teams realized, you know what, we don't want to sell our audience short. We don't want them trying to fight over getting product. We don't want to leave people at the door, and instead we want anyone that wants to get in on this to engage with it. So they're releasing on Kickstarter first, and then they're going through distro going forward. I believe that was what was said on the very first stream when someone asked in the Q&A, and I think it is just chef's kiss, because you have the opportunity to pick this up like I'm going to. Okay, you have the opportunity to grab it at whatever, tier you want to, and you can engage with it however you see fit. And then going forward, they can, do the standard distro LGS thing, which is so necessary for so many games to do. And I really do think if you want a long-term TCG, it has to go through the LGS, because that is where TCGs live and breathe. And that takes us cleanly to our next point, and that is organized play starting at the local level. And look, they're not trying to break the molds. They're doing something similar to what several other games right now are doing. I'm going to put it here on the screen as you can see, but this is the organized play structure they've announced, and they've discussed already how they believe this should be engaged with at the local level, and you can see it's listed out right here. This is a similar system to several other games that are out on the market right now, and you know what? It works. It starts at the local level. You allow people to engage weekly. You build up to these regional, or I really shouldn't even call it regional, these very small local tournaments like Night City Showdowns, and then you can move over into a larger organized play system. And this is a game, of course, that is going to be bringing in a whole host of new people to the trading card game space because it's such a large IP that people are already falling in love with or have already fallen in love with. And if you can take those players and bring them into the LGS, then you're raising the value that LGS gets from a game like this. It encourages them to run more events, and then of course you can bring those players into the upper levels of competitive events, as you can see there on the right, all the way up to the Cyberpunk TCG World Championship. This is not rocket surgery, if you will. You can do this type of plan as long as you're consistent and you're willing to support the local all the way up as an organized play structure. I think this game will be incredibly successful on this competitive side of things. And finally, and I don't think that this can be overstated, the intellectual property that I was talking about in the last point is a massive boon for any game, really, but specifically for this one, it has clearly caused a groundswell of interest. I mean, you don't just start a Kickstarter and raise $14 million with just anything. The fact that we have such an interest in this game, this intellectual property, this world, is really exciting for the TCG space, just like it is for all these other games that have come out fairly recently. If you want to engage with Cyberpunk TCG, there are so many people out there that want to do the same, and that means you get to play the game. Fundamentally, the more people that are interested in this, overall world and engaging with this IP, the more people you have to play the game with. And again, this is a game meant to be played. It's not just some collectible vehicle. It's not just some like, quick turnaround. It's meant to be played with others. And a TCG that has the groundswell of interest in this IP, the way that this one does, is incredibly exciting because it means more people can get together to play a cool game like this one. So those are some of the reasons why I'm excited to play the Cyberpunk TCG. Is this something you're interested in? Do you want to see more about this game yourself? Are you going to try it out? And what are you going to pick up when it releases? What are you interested in? I want to know that down in the comments below. And if you want more content related to the Cyberpunk TCG, if you're excited like I am, let me know that down there as well. If you like this sort of stuff, make the number go to the other number, because here, that's what we do. We make numbers go up as we sail the high seas of TCGs. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.